Yes, yes. I was
Hello,
this year.
my name is Dr. Anand. I'm physiotherapist.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Zakaria, local in Hyderabad, working as therapy tech.
I know one of your junior officers, Rajesh. He is senior to me. Oh, yes.
For it. So just to highlight something, during our work, whether it is even a traffic situation, every one of us have this stress. We simply say it, die stress, which is really harmful. So today we are trying to deliver with eminent guests and all that, how we are going to convert this dry stress to the U stress, which is the most productive stress, and we experience this transformative power of brain tap therapy and unlock the true potential using various techniques, the knowledge which our next speakers is gonna do that. So stopping with this, so let's invite and all our dignitaries, the esteemed guest, onto the dais. Any occasion, we start with lighting our lamp. So let's begin with our chief guest, sir, Dr. Nawab Mir Nasir Ali Khan, the Honorary Consultant of Republic of Kyrgyzstan. So please, we request you to be on the dais. Yeah. Subhadra ma'am, please excuse me. The list is just given to me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please onto the dais. Now the stage really looks so enlightened. So please, onto the dais. Onto the dais. We request you to please lit the lamp. Request Dr. Patrick and Dr. Omji to please take the initiative. Request Ajay Mishra Sahab to step forward. VK Singh Sahab.
Yeah, just light it. Please.
గాలి వస్తుంది ఏసీ గాలి గాలి బంద్ చేయలేదు.
I request everyone to begin the lamp lighting with a huge round of applause.
Sandeep sir? Yeah, please come. Join the hands together. It's absolutely perfect. Yeah. Big round of applause for that.
Huge round of applause for the Brain Tap team and every dignitary on the dais. Thank you. Request all to please settle back and we would like to take some honors to acknowledge and felicitate today some of our very eminent guests. So thereafter, we're going to have the session by Dr. Patrick. So to begin with, I would request Dr. Ajay Mishra Sahab to be on the dais. Ajay Mishra Sahab is currently the chairman of Red Cross Society Telangana. He's doing extremely great job of one humble soul in the area of charity and trust. His acknowledgements, his accomplishments are really beyond, having worked in various departments. Thank you very much. Dr. Patrick Om Prakash ji to do the honors, please.
Big round of applause. So just stay there. We'll have a bit of fun together. Next.
Doctor, I think we should give one mic to Dr. Ashish Sahab to get the real energy. Please, please. Would request Dr. Nawab Mir Ali Khan, sir, Honorary Consulate Republic of Kyrgyzstan, today's chief guest, to please be on the dais. And request Dr. Patrick V.K. Singh Sahab to
As
please
His
do the honors.
Excellency Mir Nawab Nasir Ali Sahab comes forward, there are hundreds and thousands of things about Kazakhstan we definitely would like to share, and we are very delighted to have his blessed presence out here. Can we have a big round of applause for our very blessed friend?
Dr. Nawab Mir Ali Khan, sir, is not just the Honorary Consulate of Republic of Kyrgyzstan. He is the promoter and managing director of MEC Projects Private Limited, a premium infrastructure and housing development company. Under his leadership, MEC has played a pivotal role in constraining landmark projects, and he is known for his commitment to the environment. Thank you.
Sir, you forgot it better now. That's sweet. Yes, please.
Now I would request
I just like to say a few words.
Dr. Subhadra Jalal.
In a minute. I'd like to thank Doctor for inviting me and Ashish Chauhan for inviting me. It's a great pleasure being here. It's a very interesting subject. And briefly about Kazakhstan, I was just talking to V.K. Singh Sahab. Kazakhstan not known very well, but we are the 9th largest country in the world, next to Russia, China, and we have very close relationship with India. We supply uranium to government of India for civil nuclear purpose, and also it's a visa-free country for India. So if you're an Indian citizen, you don't need a visa to travel to Kazakhstan. Thank you very much. Sorry, I don't want to take too much of your time.
And you know what? His full efforts are there to start a flight directly from Hyderabad to Almaty. I think we need to work for that. A big round of applause for that. Thank you. Okay, the one institution which takes all of us globally is LV Prasad Eye Hospital. And here we have the quality director, Dr. Subhadra Jalali with us. A big round of applause for ma'am's presence out here.
Also, Madam is on a national task force on retinopathy of prematurity. Huge round of applause acknowledging Madam. Thank you very much for your time.
Can we have a... Okay, Mr. Kaul is not around. So.
We also request now Dr. Sandeep Lakhatia, sir, the Director of Endoscopy, AIG, Asian Institute of Gastroenterology.
The #1 gastro center in the world, AIG. And just now, our very beloved D. Nageshwar Reddy sir has been given the Padma Vibhushan Award, and that's only because of the wonderful team which is led along with Dr. Sandeep Lakhatia. Can we have a big round of applause for Dr. Sandeep and his...
Thank you, thank you. Sir is an adjunct professor at Johns Hopkins University, USA, a visiting professor to Kasturba Medical College, served as a president for Society of GI Endoscopy and many more. Thank you very much for your presence. Now I would request to do some felicitation and honors for Dr. Om Prakash ji.
The brain behind the brain tapping in Hyderabad is none other than Dr. Om Prakash, one of the very well-renowned neurologists at Warangal. Can we have a big round of applause for our very beloved friend?
Over 2 decades of experience and awarded as a Guinness World Record for his participation in largest men's health awareness. Also an International Gold Star Award for his health excellence. Thank you very much. And I think it would be very great if we all can do a great big round of felicitation to Dr. Patrick. Sir, in the center, please.
I think for that we'll call Krishna Chaitanya to come forward and to do the honors for that. As I hand over the bouquet to Dr. Patrick sir, can you have a big round of applause for him, please?
Thank you so much. Finally, I would now request Dr. Om Prakash to facilitate Professor Dr. Krishna Chaitanya. Please, a huge round of applause.
This is needed. But the height is a problem.
Nerve and muscle disorders. Sir, as a proponent of teamwork, he had the privilege of collaborating various clinical, administrative, healthcare programs. He was awarded as a Guinness World Record for participation in largest mental health awareness, awarded as an International Gold Star Award for Health Excellence. He was the most iconic healthcare leadership award of. He was awarded as VK Connect Star Events, Silicon India Magazine as SI Top 10 Prominent Neurologist, awarded under National Achievers Recognition Forum, and the list goes many how. So let's now please welcome with a huge round of applause to hear from Dr. Om Prakash.
To all of you. But do you know his secret napping technique? Thomas Edison would get his best ideas in his naps. So he would sleep with a metal ball in his hand, and as he drifted into sleep, it would drop and hit the iron plate placed below him, and that will jolt him out from the sleep, and his brain sparks a new idea. He called it as efficient napping. But actually what he was doing, his brain from the beta to the theta wave to grab the ideas and bring it out. And not only addition. Tesla, even Einstein, great visionaries and leaders, they know this secret technique to entrain their brain into the different waveform. Ladies and gentlemen, you all are welcome to this brainwave entrainment program. I am Dr. Om Prakash, and I am a practicing neurologist in Warangal for the last 15 years. And may I request you all to close your eyes for a minute and picture in your brain about a person having dementia. So what the term dementia evokes for you? Maybe some relative or any known person having dementia. There are so many doctors here, so you may have seen patient of dementia, or maybe you have seen a documentary about dementia. Please open your eyes. And if the picture you had in your brain resembles this photograph, please raise your hands. Okay, quite a bit of people. Now, if your imagination resembles this photograph, please raise your hand. Very few. He is my father, and he is having dementia, and he is in advanced stage of Alzheimer's disease. And that is the reason for the last couple of years my interest shifted from neurological illness to wellness, brain wellness. Because there is no cure, and we don't have a good treatment for these degenerative brain conditions. So I started reading books and scientific literatures about brain wellness. And I was surprised to see the number of articles and publications about meditation and mindfulness in the recent years. You can see the graph how it is going up and up. So there is a solid scientific backup for all these practices now. See, we are very fortunate and very proud to say that we belong to a country where meditation has started 6,000 years back. 6,000 years. But the real question is, how many of us are actually doing it now on a daily basis? So I did a research last year, which was published in this journal, and it was basically a WhatsApp survey of 500 educated urban population about meditation. The crux of the study is more than 90% of people believe that meditation is good for their mental health. Only 16% people do it on regular basis. And two main reasons for not doing it is inability to focus or concentrate, and the second is lack of time. But what is for you to understand and learn in this? So the first thing I want to talk about here is mindfulness. What is mindfulness? I don't have any operational definition for mindfulness, but in the simplest way, mindfulness is the art of bringing your awareness to the present moment. Let me repeat it. It's the art of bringing your awareness to the present moment, which is different from meditation, because meditation is accessing a very consciousness, which is different from sleeping, different from waking, and different from dreaming. Here I want to mention about a classic paper which was published in one of the apex medical journals, that is Science. For people who are not from the medical side, let me give an idea that 3 apex medical journals in the field of research. One is Science, second is Nature, and third is Cell. So this was published in Science by Dr. Matthew and Dan Gilbert. And the title is "A Wandering Mind is an Unhappy Mind." We humans have a always wandering of our mind. And the major mismatch between what we are thinking and what we are doing in a particular moment is a major source of unhappiness. Major source of unhappiness. So, in other words, if you become mindful, the mindfulness can be a major source of happiness if your thought process and action are at the same page. The second thing I want to talk about is what happens to the brain when we meditate. What anatomical structures are involved? There are 3 important structures of the brain which are involved: is prefrontal cortex, especially the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is the area just behind the bump of our forehead, ACC, that is anterior cingulate cortex, and insula. And the interaction between these 3 areas determines that what I am feeling right now, what is going inside me, and how I am feeling. We all know that our brain has 2 halves, right half and left half. And then we think that our left half is logical, it is analytic, and it is sequential, whereas the right brain is more of artistic and it is more of emotional and holistic. But neuroscience does not support this. There is no scientific basis for that. But the point is, we require both of our hemispheres to work together for our best cognitive function. So, the structure which connects our right brain and left brain, it becomes thicker and thicker when we meditate. It is proven by science that meditators, they have a thicker corpus callosum than non-meditators. That means we have a better communication between right brain and left brain.
It's absolutely a delight to be here on the Brain Tapping Conference which has been organized. We're very happy to welcome Mr. Patrick, who's come from United States. And to do the inauguration, we have a very beloved friend, His Excellency from the Kazakhstan, the Honorary Consul General of Kazakhstan, Dr. Mir Nasir Ali Sahab with us, and we are very delighted that he's taken time out to add his value to our program. Few words from our very chief guest for the evening to say about today's conference. Mir sir. We are delighted and excited to be here today for the conference on brain tapping, which has been organized by Dr. Patrick and his team, Dr. Om Prakash from Warangal, and we are delighted to know that our very great friend, His Excellency Mir Nasir Ali Sahab is with us, Honorary Consul General of Kazakhstan for AP and Telangana. And this conference opens up our mind to mindfulness, meditation, and music and various techniques. Everything other than the medicine, and I think that's an absolutely great future to look forward to. Because yes, there are a lot of stuff when we talk about the side effects of medicines, but with mindfulness, meditation, and music, we only see the positive vibes which are going to come out, which will have the impact on Alzheimer's, the 6th cause of death in United States, which is growing very fast in Middle East as well as in Asia. So I congratulate the whole team of Dr. Patrick, Dr. Om Prakash, and all of us for this conference, and we need to have more conferences like this on the neural check as well as the neural energy which we all carry. I congratulate everybody, all the participants, and look forward for a great response in future.
And also my dear friend Achi Chavan from Apollo Hospital for inviting me today. I'm honored to be here, and I did talk to Dr. Patrick. It's a very interesting subject. It's a great learning experience for me, and it's more to do with the working with the brain. Actually, the brain minds the body, rules the body. That's what we believe, and I invite them to visit Kazakhstan and be a part of our medical system, and I look forward to their visit. And I again thank Dr. Patrick and Dr. Ashi Chavan for inviting me. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I started out with a company called Light and Sound Research. Back then I was a young man, I was 24 years old, and I didn't have the money to buy the equipment, so I went to work for them. I love the equipment, I wanted to learn it. I just happened to be the last one standing, so I have all the technology here. So as we talk here today, I just want to go over it. So think about neurosciences. If I can get one new thought in your brain today, just one new thought, your whole brain has to rewire around that new thought. So my job every morning when I get up, and I'm only 63 years young, every morning when I get up, I'm looking for one new thought, because I want my brain to consistently start rewiring itself. Because I've been training my brain to rewire around new technology. He said, how old are you? He said, you're asking the age of my house. I am infinite. My body might have an age, but you are infinite. You're the spark that happened the moment that sperm and egg got together, the moment that little piece of light ignited, you became you. Guess what? When you die, science now tells us we lose 3/4 of an ounce. What's that 3/4 of an ounce we lose? That's you. So what we're talking about today is your biological system, not you. This is your interface with this conscious everyday reality. If we damage it, we have a problem. So we have to nurture it, we have to work with it, we have to really work with our body. You have to be friends with your body. Your body's not against you. Your body's been doing the best that it can while you're doing the best that you can. If you don't treat your body well, guess what? You can't say it doesn't work well for you. You can't say it lets you down. Every day we need to do something. So when we're talking today, we're not just talking about selling brain tap or getting you to meditate. We're talking about something called brain fitness. How many people here have ever exercised your muscles, right? We know we need to exercise our muscles because if we don't, they atrophy. Our brain is the same thing. So today as we're talking about exercising our brain, that's why we call it brain fitness. So when we talk about brain rewiring, the next thing is the role of neurogenesis. As we age, something happens to us. And that's the next thing we're going to talk about. As we age, it's called neural pruning. So as we talk about this neurogenesis and why we need recovery is, as we age, our brain literally rewires. When you were born, you were actually wired up. We don't learn by connecting our brain. We learn by unwiring our brain. That's why we always have to do things that adapt and provide some stress on our brain. when my wife Cynthia here, go ahead and stand up so they can see. When I stress her out, because even though my job is brain tap, she'll tell you that I can stress her out because when I see something I want to have it happen, I think it's already done. And then of course my whole team has to come along and do it. Just because I have an idea, but I have to tell them all the time, I'm helping you to build neurogenesis. Because if you don't have that stress, your brain doesn't rewire, it doesn't keep growing and improving. Don't look at stress as a problem. They didn't have to move. They could eat, drink, think. They even provided sex to these mice. They didn't have to do anything. They could just lay there. Those mice didn't live even 2/3 of the time the mice had the stress. So if you keep begging to have no stress, what you're saying is you want to unwire and die. Neurogenesis happens because our brain adapts. When something happens in our life, it says, wow, what's happening to me? Just like your muscles, if you lift weights, your muscles go, dang, they lifted weights on Monday, they lifted weights on Wednesday, they're going to lift weights on Friday. Pretty soon says, we better get stronger because they keep lifting these weights. But if you don't, guess what? The body keeps atrophying. The same thing with the brain. So we need neurogenesis. What brain tap does, when we're going to talk about it, is we are going to stress the brain, but it has to be a fun stress. What Dr. Christian was talking about, eustress. When we talk about eustress, that's the good stress. Like, you know, when Herschel here just got married, I think he gets to go to his wedding, but he sent me the picture to get that bill. You know, every day a new outfit, every day a new party, you know, that's pretty stressful, right? But it's fun stress, hopefully. And you get to look back at those memories and it becomes an enjoyable time in your life. That is you. I've written 10 books. My one book is called Awaken the Genius. And in there I say, I was blessed to be the son of an alcoholic. And people go, why did you say you were blessed to be the son of an alcoholic? Because that serves me. If I say, poor me, my dad was an alcoholic, I'm an alcoholic, please feel sorry for me. Who does that serve? It doesn't serve anybody. Whatever problem you're having in your life, I want you to think about it today and from this day forward. You're being trained for a superpower. You don't know what that superpower is right now, but that's what life's providing you. Life's providing you inherent in every problem situation is an inherent gift for you to develop so that you can either help yourself or help other people. We're not here just for ourselves. In fact, right here in Hyderabad, there's a he's a yogi, his name is Gaji. They have a thing called a heart health meditation. Have you ever heard of it? Where they meditate, they visualize energy coming from the heart. And they asked Dr. Vivek Sharma, he was head of physiology at Ames Institute, to go there and measure the brains of people doing this meditation. Because they were convinced that the person sitting, getting the meditation, like there were 4 people around them, we put them all with gear on their head, we measure their heart rate, and they're visualizing this energy going to this person. They thought the person being prayed for, or being generated this energy was going to have the most energy. They were wrong. The person that got the most energy were the people sending the energy. And I said, that's inherent in all of us. We get more energy by giving than by getting. You get energy by giving that energy away. The more energy you give away, your cells have to adapt, improvise, tap into what you're going to learn today is the field, what you call here in India, your aura. But your aura is attached to a bigger aura, attached to a bigger aura, attached to a bigger aura, attached to cosmic waves of reality. And you don't have to be a guru to do that. Every one of you is tapped in. It's not a spiritual practice, it's a physiological practice. Right now, neuroscience, if you go into neuroscience and you start reading the real literature, you start to think you're reading the Vedas of information, light, sound, and vibration. You're not just a bodysuit that you get to wake up into every morning. You are an energy system that interacts with other energy systems. And if you're around people, we call them gainers, right? We have people in your life that when they walk in the room, it gets a little brighter. You go, wow, right. You know, Vishal's here or whatever. You know, you're energized because he's energized, right? There might be somebody else walks in the room and oh no, Fred's here. He's the guy that sucks the energy out of the room. You know, he walks in the room, he's a little darker, but have the energy to keep you going. And so what we want to share with you is why that happens. So there's only 3 reasons why you have brain problems, right? And most of you know this. One is your thoughts. So if you have negative thoughts, they did a study during COVID. In your heart, when you're doing that heart meditation, your heart, and what they found out was during COVID, They studied these people and the energy your body emits. Every one of you emits light energy. Whether you think about it or whether you know about it or not, it's called biovoltaic exchange. It's a science you're going to learn a little bit about today. And when you're in a positive state of mind, you actually generate more energy. They took people that had thought about COVID as a threat rather than as a challenge, generated 200 times less light energy. So you want to look at life as a challenge, not as a threat. No matter what's happening out there in the world, no matter what you read about, no matter what you experience, it's a challenge for you to rise above that and bring your light energy to the situation so that you can think, act, and respond at a higher level. If not, your thoughts are going to help you down-regulate. And I'm going to share how that even affects your genes, who you are right now, what you're expressing as. We're going to get to that in just a moment. Now, it could be trauma. Obviously, that's when you're going to go see Dr. Ohm and the other doctors in the room. You're going to have to get the hardware fixed. You know, just like your computer. If you need to fix your hard drive, you need to fix the RAM memory, you need to fix the circuit board, whatever. That's the hardware. Now, the hardware is originally a 1. This guy was functioning. He was very intelligent. And when we were here in India, we were here in November, we measured at least 30 billionaires, and every one of their brains were like this. What did they do? They exchanged their life energy for their life. Your job is not supposed to be your life. Your job is supposed to provide you a life. If it's not providing you a life, then you are actually a slave to it. And I'm going to show you my brain scan so you know what I'm talking about. And I do a lot. And when I flew in here yesterday, it was so funny because we got in at 3:30 last night. And when I got in, I scanned myself. She goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I want to do a neuro check. See what my brain's doing." And it was really good. I go, "I can't believe that. We just traveled 27 hours. But guess what? I take care of myself. I do everything I'm telling you to do. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't believe it worked. Every day, when somebody says, "Oh, I don't have enough time to meditate," when one was saying, "So we don't do it every day." I love it when they asked the Dalai Lama, "I'm too busy to meditate." He said, "Well, then you should do it twice a day." So think about it. You have to make time for yourself. You know, on the airplane, you're taking off, they go, if the plane goes down, you put the mask on yourself first. Then you help everybody else. If you're helping everybody else first, guess what? You won't have the energy to put your mask on. And the nice thing about your brain, it's never too late. Your brain can be 6 weeks to improve their brain score by 19%. You cannot, your brain is designed to heal just like the rest of your body. Your brain, like your liver, can even regenerate itself. Neurogenesis. So don't ever give up. Don't let anyone tell you it can't, because I've seen it too many times. So this doctor comes in, he's got one, his brain's at 61% delta. Delta's the sleep state. You know what this guy does all day? He works his tail off, probably does a lot of service for his community. It's like pulling a parachute all day long. He gets home, might even pour himself a drink because he deserves it. He doesn't know that that's anymore. And the funniest thing was, he still said, he's shaking his head, he goes, "But I have to do this the rest of my life?" I said, "No, you won't have much life left. You can keep doing what you're doing, and you can retire and expire." Because most people, when they retire, what happens to them? They don't even live 5 years. Because they don't have the energy, the drive, the motivation to stay alive. At any age, you can change your brain. Now, this is the most important part that I showed to our doctors in America. Because in 1994, and I'm one of these guys that, I studied with a guy named Yogi Bhajan, you might know him. He brought Kundalini Yoga to America. And I was one of those crazy guys get up at 3:30 in the morning and do yoga because I liked physical fitness. That was more of a yoga. I didn't like to just sit there in these poses. I wanted to be doing something active because I was a physical guy. But I was always wondering, what's this field of energy about? Well, in 1994, our National Institute of Health discovered something they did a study, they took mice, and they ran mice through a maze. And as they ran the mice through the maze, they systematically took the brain of the mice out. Imagine your nervous system. We've shown it many, many times. If you tell me somebody, we've had this happen a lot of times, and show somebody says, I want you to give them a brain scan because they're so negative. I want to find out what's going on. I said, I'm telling you right now, we probably won't be able to do anything until we shift that thinking. Because if somebody has negative thinking, they actually block health. It's like their body says, I can't be positive and be unhealthy. You can't be positive and be unhealthy. You gotta be positive and be healthy. People can look like they're not healthy. They can look, somebody goes, why is that person so healthy? They don't even look healthy because they have a positive attitude. That positive attitude is a lot better than being, you don't have to be thin and strong. And if you're thin and strong and you're negative, you're gonna get sick. You're not gonna have a good life, you're gonna have ulcers or whatever. I mean, a lot of people like that. The number one thing in all studies with longevity, the number one thing you can do that most people never talk about, but it's in every study, positive thinkers outlive negative thinkers 6.5 years. In the brainwave states, the two that we want to get you into are alpha and beta. If I was to say in everyone in this room, hopefully I would see a good balance. Beta would be, gamma typically is around 2 to 3%, but I've seen people we stand at 27%. These are healers. Usually I say, what do you do? They're like massage therapists or doctors. And people like that, they're healers. They just have this high energy because gamma is the base drum to the brain. Almost every person we've ever seen in a dementia study has almost no gamma activity. You need at least 2 to 3. Think of it like a marching band, and the beat drum, or if you're singing in bodies, the person who's keeping the rhythm with everybody. That's gamma. Now, when you think about beta, when we're awake, beta should be about 45% of our prevailing awareness. That's when we can react. It is negative, like you said, there is fear, frustration, and anxiety. That's all present here. But there's also grace, love, acceptance. It's what we have to focus our attention on. If we drop into alpha should be about 30% of our prevailing awareness. It's called DNA. 10 billion miles of it. Right here in this room. Every one of us has that. We can go to Pluto and back on our DNA. That DNA, as we sit here, is absorbing energy from the room around us in the form of light, sound, and vibration. It's pulsating that light out into our body, downloading, just like a computer would download from the internet. That information is coming into us, and we're uploading information. Just like right now, everybody heard that before? You're in the office, go ahead, the internet's down. Did you ever hear that? The internet's never down. The source is never down. Cosmic consciousness is never down. Your upload and download is never down. Your access to it is. Just like if you don't have the code to get into your Wi-Fi, you can't get on the Wi-Fi, you can't get on the internet. You have a code. That code happens to be an alpha and beta. In fact, the deeper you go, the more you open up that code. Your eyes are closed. That light energy is coming in through your eyes because your eyes hold more mitochondria than any other part of your body. It absorbs that light energy through the eyes because your eyes are not just attached to your brain. Your eyes are brain matter. That's why ophthalmologists, we work a lot with that because it's the brain. They're looking at the brain. When somebody says your eyes are beautiful, they're really saying you got a beautiful brain. Your brain is interpreting that information. So we can bring more energy into the eyes. That's why blue-eyed people are living in certain areas and brown-eyed people are living in different areas of the world. Now they're scattered all over the place. But because there's more light, we don't need to bring in as much. Blue-eyed people bring in more light energy than brown-eyed people. So as you bring this information in now we need to get that information in because when it comes into the eyes, guess what? It starts to feed the frontal cortex. That's one of the areas that's in problems right now. People are wearing sunglasses all the time. Or wearing blue blocker glasses. I love it, the biohackers wearing them all the time. We need blue light, folks. The bad news isn't the blue light. Yeah, it is if you don't know, because ignorance is a sin, right? The thing is, nobody taught us this. Every cell in your body has something called a chromophore. It's a little battery that sits on every cell. And what it does, as you go through your day, it absorbs energy from the world around you. If one cell gets too much energy, it actually shares that information to the cells around it. They call this photobiomodulation. Unlike people, we don't go get a storage shed. We fill up that storage shed, then we get another storage shed, then we get another storage shed. What happens is that energy gets shared because the body knows it is a whole. It needs that energy. So in ears, all the blood in your body moves through your ears every 3 to 5 minutes. That blood goes directly to the brain. And then what happens is, the way light energy works, when that cell is about to die, they call it in science apoptosis. That cell is about to die. If that light energy can get there before that cell dies, it will absorb that light energy. It will absorb it into that cell and restart the Krebs cycle. That cell literally